Hi, I want to share something with you that I found in my archives, something that I was about to throw away, but I thank God now that I discovered it. It was an essay that I wrote in 1982, only 2 years after I came to America, when I was only 20 years old. This is what I wrote. It's called My American Dream. I came to the New World much like the immigrant of the 19th century. For me, America was the place to realize my dreams, the land of golden opportunity. I was not an uninformed immigrant, for I was determined to know the country that was to become my new home. With this sense of adventure, I set about learning of the great continent. My research began with a series of picture books about the natural wonders of America. In my little prison in Belfast, Northern Ireland, the free-flowing rivers and wide-roaming plains invited and indeed seduced me to seek and find that freedom that the people here could enjoy. From there, I had to learn more about the people of America. Where did they come from? How and why did they leave their homeland to start afresh in a country they were unfamiliar with and a language that was alien to them? Whatever the reason, I felt that same burning need to uproot and join the ranks of millions of people that came to America since it was first walked by quote-unquote civilized man. With this goal in mind, I began to work and save to come here. For 6 years, I saved every penny I could get my hands on, and this meant everything. I did not go out with friends if it meant spending money. I walked to school every day, regardless of the weather, so that I could save my bus money, about $2 per week. At school, I forsook my lunch money to add a further $3 to this money. I worked before and after school 7 days a week to earn the money to come here. When I got here, I wallowed in the freedom I felt here. Nothing could stop me. I could walk 1,000,000 miles without seeing soldiers, security stops, without fear of terrorists or their activities. I could leave it all behind me. All the effort I made to get here was worth just one day in America. I could not get enough of it. I immediately threw myself into becoming the American that I wanted to be. Slowly at first, I began to imitate an accent. Then I became familiar with all the slang terms so that I would not feel out if a joke was told. Someone even pointed out to me that my clothes were dark and dreary and very Irish looking. I got rid of them for some bright t-shirts, some jeans and tennis shoes. For all intents and purposes, I became an American. As all this went on, I was having 1,000,001 problems with immigration just in staying here. But I was a dreamer. How could they possibly turn me down? I was so eager to stay that all they had to do was give me a broom and I would start cleaning the streets right away. But no, I was too young, had no skills, and was generally a burden, even though I did not and would not receive any state or federal aid. I did what any American would do. I got a lawyer to help. This was extremely frightening for me, since I did not think that someone like me could possibly dare to fight the U.S. government. Well, I did. I have been since I got here, and it looks like I will for some time yet. So what happened to that dream, the great American dream? Well, somewhere along the line I grew up. This meant that I became aware of myself and context of the whole world. I had a notion that something greater than I could imagine was behind all of what was happening to me. This grew slowly into a relationship with God, and I never felt before. I could feel his presence within me, and that grew to a deeper love of him that I never felt before. I was determined that this should not ruin my chances of making something of my life. After all, I now had all the chances for success that I needed, yet there was still something lacking, a feeling that I should become involved with people in some sort of ministry. This became more and more obvious as I would come across so many people that needed help. Perhaps I had a vocation, I thought, but no way. Me? A priest? Absolutely no way. As time passed, I grew less and less afraid of the idea, until finally I made the choice to find out and come here. And coming here to Borromeo Seminary College of Ohio, I felt so uncomfortable that I wanted to leave and go home to Northern Ireland. I stayed more out of embarrassment than anything else, but I stayed. As time passed, I found myself a sophomore. I realized that this call was stronger than I could ever imagine. Sometimes I get so frustrated because I feel there's so much to be done and I have so little time to do it. When I pray, I feel so close to God that I could just reach out and touch him. And yet, at other times, especially times like now, I wonder if he really could be bothered with me. So what did happen to my dream? Well, I think it just fell through. As it stands now, the only thing I have to show for my 2 years here is a whole bunch of problems. The academics I think I can handle, but the others make the academics feel like a lead vault around my neck and over my back. Firstly, in order to stay here, I had to hire a lawyer. The grand cost of this was to be $3,000, and it would take him just 3 months to complete the whole puzzle. Well, 2 years later, and almost $4,000 of money which I do not have, and I am still in the same position. No matter, I thought, it's all worth it. The cost, with this eternally optimistic attitude, I come here to Borromeo College of Ohio. The cost is to be just over $2,500 per year. I was not allowed to work, but I managed to get a job that paid under the table, providing that I worked cheaply. But again, it was worth it. So I was able to pay for my freshman year. Sophomore year, they cannot employ me. It is too risky, no money. I work for St. Michael's, St. John's, and Immaculate Conception. I think I worked hard for them all. They still aren't able to pay me enough to meet all the bills. So I start my scrimp and save plan. For the second year, I have spent extremely little. No movies, no records, no trips, no outings. 1 hamburger and 1 Coke per week at McDonald's. It is all still worth it. Second semester rolls around with all its ups and downs, but good old Dermot is still smiling. I even managed to pay $150 of this semester already. This, however, means that there is to be no outings, nothing. I even wash and dry all my laundry in the sink and using my desk as a clothesline. And even at this, I still feel that it is only a matter of a few weeks before the good weather comes and I can dry my laundry outside. Here is the straw that broke the camel's back. On Tuesday at Holy Hour, we are given the bishop's pastoral letter on poverty to read. For me, this seemed like a sour, bitter joke. I have a grand total of $4 to my name, and they give me a box to help the poor by giving what I can. I prayed a little, laughed a little, and then I cried. Today I woke up early and went for a walk. I somehow felt that no matter what, like Job, I would not give up hope in God. This picked me right up again, and I felt sure that somehow I would sort out the whole sordid mess. Then I get 2 things which throw me right off. First, my brother calls to let me know that there are a lot of problems for us both with immigration. My lawyer wants $600 to finish off what I agreed to pay. Then tonight I find in my mailbox that tuition is to be increased to $3,000 per year. I think now that perhaps my dad was right when he told me that I had too many dreams. It is hard to believe that with the great shortage of priests, the people may have to leave because they cannot afford the price. The American dreams I have are crumbling, and I am becoming a burden to the school, to my friends, and to a country that I love, even though I don't think loves me. Perhaps I should take the hint and give up and go home. These are words that I wrote in 1982 when I was barely 20 years old. It's 25 years later, and I've been a priest. It's 37 years later, and I've been a priest for 25 years. What this teaches me, and what I hope it teaches anyone who is listening to me, if you have dreams, and if they are dreams to serve and to do good for the world, don't give up on your dreams. And don't give up on anyone else's dreams either. Allow them to dream big. America is still great. America has always been great. America is the great place of opportunities for all. Thank you for listening.